There's Moss. Combat driver. Dust. Let's make sure. What am I wearing? Yes. Okay. Characters. Banathor.
Hey everyone, we'll just wait a few minutes here.
So Dwayne mentioned he was going to fire up the stream. Maybe he's done so. And if somebody could take Banathor.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Hey, Spencer.
How you guys doing?
Good. Beautiful family photos there.
Oh,
Cats
thank
look
you.
good.
Yeah. I got 2 of them on my lap right now.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Laura went up to Joshua Tree to go camping with her sister, so it's just me and the kids.
I remember I went to I had a VW bus, decided to go to Joshua Tree, just kind of on a whim, and it had like a kind of a foam mattress in the back of the bus. I just figured I would sleep there, and it gets cold in the desert at night.
Oh yeah.
And then a metal VW bus is
Yeah.
it sucks the heat out. It's not like a tent even, right? Yeah. So
yeah. The desert. Sometimes we go to Borrego. Sometimes we go up to Joshua Tree. But yeah, we bring we have like these pads that we put down, like in the tent, like these big thick pads. Make sure to bring a lot of blankets and everything for the night. It's fun. I only like doing it for like a night, and I come home the next day. I don't like camping for more than one day.
Whoops. What's up here? All right.
We haven't played this one in a while, huh? It's been like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
2 or 3 months, seems like. Going through withdrawals.
Oh.
Well, I remember we were just coming back down, so we had to switch back into our heat resistant garb. Put on the goggles and the lighter weight armor. Yeah.
Yep. The last session we ran into those people traveling in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I was kind of glad of that. We got to help him out a little bit. Oh man, and we're richly rewarded with some kind of a plot point. I remember, they gave us like, in my mind, it's like Coptic Ethiopian, some kind of a charm, right?
They gave us a medallion.
Yeah.
And I don't recall what they said about it. I don't know why I'm drawing a complete blank. Let me see if there's any notes on it in here.
Yeah. Go to the Sea of Dust.
I believe I'm drawing a blank. Well, we're in a few games.
Here it is, the old amulet. It's only the picture of it, but it's the picture that graces the invite. It's like the Coptic cross, the Ankh. And
I'll put a note of it in here so that we can like in notes.
yeah.
I'll just start adding things to notes.
Cold breeze coming in. Wow.
That works shit.
Apologies, everyone. I'm just having a bit of a hard time finding some information. We'll get started in a few minutes.
Yeah, no hurries. I mean,
sounds good.
Kind of get it started again, right? And been very busy. Things happening. Yeah.
Totally good. Okay. What did they say about this amulet? Can't remember. I'll put, I'll have a note and then I'll put inquire this. Public.
Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. Ready.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to. I'll release Banathor here if I guess Dwayne seems to be okay with other people playing his characters when he's not able to make it. So if anyone wants to, you're welcome.
anybody? Do that?
What kind of character is it?
He's a wild mage. So
You know what?
free
I'll take
range wizard.
I don't like picking up the other critical health this time.
If I played a wild mage, I'd blow up the whole party.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not going to know what I'm doing, but I'll try to keep them alive.
Okay. And going forward, we appear to have one character open. If anyone knows of someone who's interested in adding a game to their schedule, the human barbarian appears to be open for
Okay.
for play. So last time, quite some time ago, but life gets in the way. You had traversed the dust wall, gone up one side and camp tonight, finding some travelers, elderly travelers with some younger sort of teens or early adults. And you spent some time feeding them, and between the clerics and Moss, you probably healed one of the older travelers' maladies, and went on your way. And on the second day, you came out of the mountains onto the plains of the Sea of Dust to the north of the mountains. As far as the eye can see, all there is bright sun, heat, and a sort of a grayish yellow fine sand that is whipped up by the infrequent wind and kind of blows around in eddies around you. You all have those little goggles that you're wearing, which to a certain extent protect your eyes and your sight from the bright light and everything. One thing you do know is somewhere kind of to the and you first noticed this on the morning at sort of the near the peak of the mountain trail, somewhere to the roughly northwest-ish. You're not really sure how far away, but there is something that gleams in the sunlight, almost as if it was a gigantic jewel reflecting the rays of the sun, kind of in a gigantic sparkling point. You're sure that it's not close. It can be seen from a significant distance, though. After a little while, you know it's there. It's kind of hard to look directly at because of the way it gleams. But it sort of stands out in a significant way. It's blatantly obvious to everyone that there is something there.
What's the direction of it again? North?
Sort of northwest-ish.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a sign from Folsett.
And
Could be. So also coming down from the mountains, you there is a bit of a traveling track or road.
okay, could you remind me what they said about the medallion that they gave to us, the elderly couple that we helped in the mountains on our way back down?
They hoped that it would be of some assistance to you as
they didn't-
repayment for your kindness.
Okay, but they didn't have any background on it, or we didn't inquire. Should have wrote it down. Okay, just say that.
Did Guntalk take a look at that medallion? Or did anybody?
Well, we saw the form of it. It looks like an ankh or a Coptic cross. Kind of there's a picture of it
Yeah.
in the
Let's see here.
in the Discord, which is the same as the invite picture. But, it looks old.
Can Guntalk take a look at it?
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah. Is it the old nomad's amulet?
That would be it.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Roger, go into notes
Okay.
and look up ornate medallion.
Medallion. Yep. Inquire about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, right now I just added a link to the image.
Okay.
Do you see it? Pretty close.
John Guntal's going to take a look at it and see if he can get anything out of it. Maybe uses ancient history or religion.
Okay.
Good call.
Yeah, give me rolls in the town. Roger.
You
Sure.
want, you want both of them?
Yeah, both of them fine.
Gummo will look under Goontag's shoulder at it as well. So, I wonder. Do I know things? I only know dwarven. Well, no, I've got regular religion. All right. Not entirely ignorant.
Acquired by elderly travels in the mountain pass of.
I'll have a look at it too. I made the religion roll
does.
too, if it helps.
Sure.
I don't know if this would work, but I'm going to try this one too, John.
Okay. Well, you're all reasonably in agreement that it's some kind of a religious symbol.
Okay.
Certainly it was seemed to have been held in great esteem and importance by the old man that gave it to you. It does clearly have the markings on it in some respects seem to be perhaps a language. They seem to sort of have similarities to Backloonish alphabet. However, it's nothing that anyone can make out. Now, on the other hand, if any of you know Backloonish as a language,
Yeah, let me look. I think I might actually.
that may
I
change.
think I've got Omen.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. It's just
We do have.
something.
Is it not a Bacloony, but a.
I wonder if I've got a spell that might work.
Why am I not seeing? Okay. I do.
While they're studying their artifact, I'm going to try to get a good feel for the lay of the land and some points, some apexes, for the direction sense and navigation that I fear that may have to rely on very soon.
Sure.
I do speak Backloonish and Steep Nomad, which I'm not sure what Steep Nomad applies to.
Steppe Nomad is kind of like a local dialect,
Probably the people
used by many of the tribes that live north of the Dust Wall.
Got it. Which we're in right now.
That is
Dust
correct.
Wall.
Yes. Salmon,
yeah.
give me a read. Give me a read right.
You got it.
Roll, please.
Yes, sir. Okay, reading, writing, Backloonish. There we go.
Salmon, you recognize some of the symbols, but you think that perhaps a good 30 to 40% of what's inscribed on the amulet, it's sort of it doesn't really make any sense to you. It's almost like how do I put it? It's almost like whoever did the inscriptions was using two different languages interchangeably. So like you'll understand like bits and portions of it, and then all of a sudden it'll be something that's completely unintelligible to you in terms of your knowledge of Baklunish. But it does seem to indicate that the amulet is an item representing the supremacy of great kings of the past, or perhaps either kings or the one king. You're not really sure on that on the usage.
So it's religious in nature. There's Baklunish writings
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
or symbols on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interspersed with perhaps another language.
Okay.
Well, a lot of times what happens with like religious items like that is people can copy the symbols without like knowing without being able to read them. You know, they can only half read them or something, so that they get kind of warped like over time.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like just like the old Xerox machines, right? You know, a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, and then all of a sudden you're trying to make maps for the A series of modules fit a grid when they're all warped out of hell.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering if someone should wear this.
I'll do the honors.
That's a good question.
Solomon, you said you would do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's Baklunish, and I'm kind of part of this land and these people.
All right. That would be good.
I'm wondering if somebody sees us wearing this and they're obviously a foreigner, we're gonna get lit up as infidels.
What class are you there, Solomon?
I am fighter thief.
Okay.
Fighter 3, thief 5.
Because this is religious in nature, so I don't know.
Well, we could detect to see if it's like magic if we're thinking it has some usage or whatever. But if it's just a recognition.
Well, I'm thinking if it's religious in nature, maybe a cleric should wear it.
Yeah, I would just if they see.
Well, the
I don't
dwarf
know.
as a dwarf, they've never seen a lot of dwarves, and so I'm like just kind of I'm a bit of an oddity. I don't know if I'm I mean,
and I kind of blend in.
How many clerics we have? We have a couple, right? Yeah.
Acquired in the mountains north of the dust
Whoops.
wall.
Losing Spencer, are you far from the mic? Or?
No, I'm
Yeah, I can hear him.
audio bad?
I can hear you fine.
That's weird.
You can't hear him?
It's just faint.
Oh, okay.
Like I hear you great, right? But yeah, so
maybe try to turn up my on Discord, turn me up.
okay. It's actually working now.
Yeah.
I could do that. Let me see if that's it.
Okay. So let's see here. Someone just mentioned trying to get the lay of the land.
Okay.
Yes.
Who was that?
Jeremiah. Yeah, I just want to be able to rely on the direction sense and navigation and stuff. Just try to pick out some memorable spots as waypoints or
There you go.
guiding points.
Okay. Sure. Give me if you have any of your non-weapon proficiencies that you want to use. Give me a roll in the tower.
And if at all possible, I'd like to also do a daily weather sense.
Absolutely, that could be one of them. Yep. Yeah, Jeremiah, you now granted your experience in sort of the Sea of Dust is is still limited, but looking around, you think that you are unlikely to have any clouds today. It's going to be a hot one, and there does not appear to be any significant breeze on offer.
I will pass that along to the rest of the group.
Hot and dry and bright.
Hot, dry, bright, no breeze, kind of like yesterday.
Well, like today, yeah.
Yeah. Guntag, you're a cleric, aren't you?
Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily have to be me. I mean, I think Gummo's a clerk too, right?
Yes. Yeah. But as a human, you're less jarring. I'll be happy to wear it, but they might not notice it for a while because every time we've encountered people so far, they're it's like I'm the first dwarf they've ever seen.
So you get okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and wear it then.
Yeah.
If everybody's okay with that.
Yeah. Why not? I guess. Yeah.
You're a human?
You got that nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know, Solomon, you said you wanted to wear it too, so.
I just was saying because I kind of look like the native people.
Yeah.
Like
That's a good point, too.
if they see somebody wearing this thing that is obviously not one
Not
of
of the year. Yeah, that's true.
That's what I was thinking.
I think that's the right move as a recognition symbol. If we find out it has like some cleric
You think you
specific
murdered
usage,
somebody or something for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Right.
just the vibe I get. Like this looks like a holy symbol of like the tribes here.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll be right back, guys. 1 second.
So Salmon is going to be wearing it then?
Then Solomon will wear it, yeah.
Okay. Absolutely. So, you have a faint trail leading sort of to the northwest.
Yeah.
Aside from that, you could pretty well go almost in any direction if you wanted to, for some reason.
There's no signs of any cities or anything like that, John?
Oh yes, there is.
There,
It's a jewel in the desert that's
okay, the light we've seen.
yeah.
And
precisely.
that's the same direction as the trail, right? To the
And
north.
I think that's where we need to head to.
Generally speaking, yeah, same direction.
Yeah.
What? Sorry, what size are the hex squares?
I believe they're. Let's see here. I'll tell you right away. They are 2 miles.
Hex crawling.
I have a suggestion.
Okay.
Just because I think we got to go 2 miles north. If they don't see anything interesting, then head towards that trail that's going to the northwest.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, why? I'm just curious.
Just because, no reason, but there might be something out there. Instead of following the obvious trail, maybe we might find something.
Okay.
So north.
We don't have to do that. That's just thought I had.
I'm okay with whatever the party wants to do. I'm easy.
Well, I just don't understand the reasoning behind it, but if everybody's okay with that, we can do that.
Just to explore and see what else is out there. That's all.
We'll just move 1 hex up like 2 miles and kind of try to see if we can. When we're looking north, I mean, are these dunes, John, or is it just flat desert?
It would be the farther you get away from the dust wall, the more sort of dune-like things get.
Interesting. So our visibility is actually pretty good right now. Like,
Yes, it is.
what is the visibility? I mean, our visibility is, we can see north by northwest all the way to the Gleaming City, which is definitely more than, you know, uh, 6 or 8 miles away. So if we're looking in the north in this direction, what we just see dunes, increasing dunes.
Yeah, I mean, to the north of the trail, probably within a mile or so, you start to get it into rolling dunes of sand.
Yeah, I'm not too
That
keen to do
sounds
that.
like I want to stay away from that. I mean, almost feeling pretty
Yeah.
pretty chuffed right now. And
I don't really want to go hiking through the dunes if there's like a trail yet, but it might be a good idea later if we see something to, like, stay off the main road. But for now, like, I would vote just to proceed 2 miles in the northeast direction and just get a better lay of the land from there. That's just my vote, but
Okay, I'm good at that, but maybe head towards this hex a little bit. See, there's the difference.
Which one, dude? Sorry, I don't see where you're pointing.
I see. If you zoom in on the Sea of Dust map,
yeah,
it's
I got
4
it.
miles.
Can you share the map then?
If we follow the trail, we maybe veer off a little bit and
Thank you.
maybe get a better view of what's there.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't think it's gonna, if the going gets too rough, and we're not on the main road, we might want to make our way back, but I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah, I'm just in for exploring a bit, see, and get more idea what's around us.
Well, do we want to stay in this heat that long though, or do we want to get to the city as quickly as possible? I don't know.
We don't know, Roger. We don't know if it's a city, but I mean, it's kind of,
Well,
there's a gleam. I know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a gleaming. Yeah.
The way that Fulton is showing us. Do you want to go that way?
I think the best chances is, for meaningful encounters would be on the actual road.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna. I mean, the main trade road right here through the mountain. I mean, we've already encountered people along this road, technically.
Yep.
All right, let's do. You know what? Solve it. Let's just throw a vote.
No,
Yeah.
it's for me.
North by north.
Is it okay to state it as like
North by northwest?
Great film, by the way.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm good with on the road, but like I said, maybe veer off a little bit, see what's on that other hex there to the southwest. See if we can get a better view of what's there. We know they go far.
Okay, we got a tiebreaker.
Well,
what is this?
Actually, no one's voted against it yet. So, like, if I click it again, I'm voting against it. So, I need to understand about the vote though. Is that sticking to the trail, following the road? Then I definitely vote to follow the road.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's my thing.
So the vote is great. We just keeps it simple.
Yeah.
Although I do love me some exploring too, but just not yet for me.
So we're following the road, John.
Okay.
I mean, I might see something here pretty soon. We just don't see it yet.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, you think that it could very well be 20 to 30 miles away.
Yeah, we have good visibility there for sure.
I think it's a good idea that maybe I'll pitch in I'll do like a confirmation direction sense. That see
Yeah, it definitely seems like northwest or maybe north by northwest kind of thing. I mean, it is sort of vaguely in the same direction as the trail seems to be leading, at least currently.
All right, well then, down the trail then.
Down the trail. Okay, sure.
Let's see what we see now.
First 2 miles,
Go
and
ahead, speak as my character. I keep talking to Banathor.
you see to the south and the west of the road, you see areas where the sand is being whipped up more by what little breeze there is than in the area that you're traveling. It kind of almost seems like a swirling storm of churning sand blowing up into the air and twirling around. It doesn't quite make it to where the trail is, but it does look quite inhospitable to travel through.
You
So
might
it
want
looks
to
like it's
add on that
trail.
ornate medallion that it's religious in nature.
That's what we got. Yeah, we didn't. I don't think we
Should
picked
be
up
able
any
to
like
ride-
specific meaning.
The only meaning that you got from it is it sort of referred to a king or kings of old, or the one king, or a supreme ruler, and some references to almost referencing as a deity, or looked upon as a god.
Like a god king, right?
Yes.
Like, okay.
But like I said, there's a good 30 to 40% of what's carved on the amulet that doesn't make any sense. Like it's either a different alphabet, or perhaps an older version of Backloonish that contains words or symbols that haven't been used in a long time, or something similar like that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Got it.
Salmon, while you're taking your notes there, could you just mention, like, got it from Nice Old Man or something like that, so we'll remember.
Yeah, can you edit it? You should be able to edit it.
I can't seem to.
Yeah,
I've
it's
got
all I'm trying.
I just
Yeah.
unlocked it. You should be able to.
Oh, maybe I need to reopen it. That's what it is. So then
Yeah.
what I'm going to do is go back to notes. That's how it works. Is
Still
and
locked
then
for me.
it's still no. It's still locked.
That's all right. I guess maybe
Okay,
it's
just
just
say-
whoever makes it the player. This is probably why they have that one extension called Investigator, where people can, like, it's a community effort working on the notes.
Yeah.
Probably like by player. All right. Well, I'll be the scribe, dude. Just
All right.
a
Yeah.
nice old couple.
Yeah, works for me.
House wall.
Okay.
Family. Yep.
And I'm updating the information in the description of the item as you gain more information.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
nice.
In there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun to take notes too, though.
Sure.
Okay.
So continue down the path.
Yeah, because you're saying these are seem like dunes, right? We don't want to go there, right? The other ones they seem like worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, worse.
Sure. And you can travel on another couple of miles, 246. And the area where sort of the mini sandstorm is being kicked up sort of seems to pass to the south of you, sort of a thing. And looking, you see in the distance up ahead on the path as you there seems to be something rising out of the sand. Perhaps like a couple of really large pillars of some kind.
What?
I'd like to break off from the party and kind of move around out to the right.
Okay. Sure. Absolutely. Does everybody else stay on the trail and continue on?
So is it?
Is
it
is there a
is
map
this
up? Because I
because-
can't see it.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, go to images and then open up Sea of Dust #1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
John, these pillars, they look like dust devils, like funnels.
No, it looks like as you're sort of from a distance, like stone, probably.
Oh, okay.
Pillars.
And that's right here, correct? Like 4 miles off,
Yeah. Yes.
approximately.
Yes.
I'm gonna stay on the path until I see otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing.
Right. So, let's see here. We're just
Reason.
again looking, in all directions. You see nothing but sand. It's a pretty desolate surroundings, and you come to kind of looks. It looks like this.
Oh,
Hmm.
cool.
Start to get closer, and the path leads right through the arch that these two pillars form.
Wow. How tall are these? This mega structure right here.
They're a couple 100 feet high.
Oof.
What's the coloring on them like?
Sort of. It's kind of like a dark rusty brownish gray.
Hmm.
The same type of stone that you saw in the dust wall and in the hills to the south.
Looks like the rest of the desert, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean there isn't the sort of the yellowish sand mixed in, so this is pretty obviously the same type of stone that the mountains are.
Are we hearing any kind of sounds emanating from them?
No. Let's see here.
They're obviously not natural. They were brought here and set up. Are they're leaning like that?
Yes.
Yeah. So they brought them here and set these things, man. Okay, let's
Ooh,
move
an
up.
inscription is faintly visible.
Written up and down the side of it.
Okay, that's the inscription.
Do I recognize the letters, John?
There we go. Give me a reading and a writing roll.
For Backwinish or common?
Well, yeah, I guess that's the only one. Those are the only ones you
Yeah,
have.
I have Backwinish, common, and steep nomad. Okay.
Okay, so it's obviously not common, and it's not Backlunish either.
All right, so I know Omen, John. I'm going to check on that.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Where's it at? There it is.
All right.
It is not Oman.
Okay.
I bet you it's does it, okay, I got a question for you. Does the letters, I mean, the letters that we're looking at, do they look like the other part of the letters on the medallion?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yep.
Does let's see here. Does anyone have any kind of a well, Island Eye, any kind of a read languages rule?
Reading, writing, read languages. I got both.
Yeah, probably for you it would be read languages, I would think. Okay, Island Eye. Some of the inscription on the stone, some of the symbols are vaguely similar, but the vast majority are not to what's on the amulet. And either way, you don't recognize any of it as any kind of a word or anything.
Probably more modern. Man, how did they get these? There's no other. So are these like foothills right here? About 4 miles to the south of our position?
That's an area of kind of like from what you've seen, sort of like sandstorms, like a perpetual sandstorm.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering how they got these pillars out of here, or maybe they just carved them right out of an existing, rock that was here. You said they're a couple 100 feet high?
Yes, the inscription's only, I mean, they're like, say, up to, the 8 or so. They start about 3 feet off the ground, and they go up like another 5 or 6 feet.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. Okay, so so they're Well, it's like a gateway into the land or something, I presume. I mean, anyone else have like detect magic or anything like that?
John, I've got read magic. Does it look like magical symbols to me, or that be wasting away?
Probably not.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know we see from the label of the image, but do we know that that's what these are called? I mean, does anybody actually know? It's like, oh, we are at the name of the image.
No, probably not.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I don't want to. Yeah.
What is it that Gummo put in the chat?
Oh, that's Ozymandias by Shelley, I think, right? A romantic poet,
Are you gonna pull
right?
a David from Covenant and get
Oh.
Yeah. I met a traveler from an antique land, he said.
Yeah.
2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunken in a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal these words appear: My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretched far away.
Yeah,
So,
right.
That has nothing to do with this, right?
No, that's like...
All right.
It's just a story of encountering like the remnants of an ancient civilization now lost in the sands, which I think is probably what we're doing.
So I'm wondering if this is some kind of a gateway to something.
That's what it is. It's a gateway
Yeah.
into the lands. That's the way I feel. I feel like this is like it's just basically a signpost.
Yeah.
Remember Lord of the Rings
Wow.
when they're
Yeah.
going down the river and
Lord
they
of the
see the
King.
two giant
Yeah.
carved
Mhm.
people at the kind of the border of wherever the kings are from.
Mhm.
The great kingdom of the human.
So do we want to
Yep.
continue on or investigate this thing more?
I would just
You know
continue.
what we might as well take a look around it. I mean, kind of quickly make sure that there's nothing
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like a rudimentary, like
Yeah.
there
take a
might be
poke
some
around it.
hidden door or something. Let's definitely poke around. So pillar in the desert. So I'm just gonna write that.
We might find a half sunken shattered visage.
Yep.
Yeah, this is maybe Ozymandias is still there. So,
Yeah.
Such a good poem.
Yep.
I'll be right back.
Along the northwest trail.
I mean, it's a good waypost for, I could see why the path would travel between it. I mean, if you're just traveling for days out here, you might as well see the sights.
There you go.
So I wonder how far we've traveled toward the gleaming.
We've traveled about 8 miles, and it's at least 30 plus away.
Yeah. So somewhere we'll have to make camp, right? I don't think we can get that far in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The perpetual sandstorm areas has got me interested. That's strange. They don't move. They just stay in that area.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They could be inhabited by like air elementals and dust devils and things. And
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
Jeremiah, who hasn't been quite feeling himself since he hit his head, wants to know. I have told you guys about Pathfinder's special benefits of overland guiding, haven't I? And how it helps travel movement.
I don't remember that now.
Okay. Can you guys click on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a class, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't can you click on it? I cannot open it. Or maybe unless it's opening behind something. No.
No, Pathfinder. Well, if you can get to the Pathfinder special benefits, it talks about finding the optimum trail through rough terrain, increasing the party's movement rate when traversing long distances.
Okay.
So like a guide.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, we definitely need to exercise that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When John gets back,
I know why we can't click on it. What class is this for?
Ranger.
That's why, because we need
Pat-
to be able to book a ranger.
Pathfinder.
Why?
Okay. Pathfinder special benefits.
Yeah.
And then it has a
I'm
small
not the rogue.
table with the different movement cost benefits for each train type and stuff.
Yeah. If I load up the ranger book, I can see it. And it's definitely something. That's a cool. I like that. It's like Trail Master.
Yeah, as soon as John gets back, I'll tell him I'll start implementing this if it helps.
Oh, for sure. I got some good notes in here for you guys.
If I lead the party, we get a 1/6 bonus. So if we're going to be traveling, let's say 24 miles in a day, we'd actually be traveling 28. So I don't know if that.
This, I don't. I think yours may be better because on this table it just talks about 2 movement cost for desert sand. So I'm not sure.
Okay. No, we'll let John worry about that. Maybe
I
we
like
can
this
take advantage
module.
of them both.
It's a cool
Yeah.
setting.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that if y'all work together, you should get both advantages, right?
Yeah,
You
I
both
mean,
have
the way that it
similar.
works in 2E is a little different, but I mean, if they're related like this, I don't see why he would rule that it wouldn't be able to increase the odds.
Yeah, I think that would go from
Those-
24 to 30 miles,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, because they're both relevant, right? So then you got 2
Yeah.
people with relevant skill. That's definitely going to increase it somewhat. At least that's how I would
Yeah.
rule it.
Okay. Sorry about that, everyone.
No,
I,
you're good, man.
We,
Always.
we were just
I may get the occasional phone call tonight. So let's see here. I already shared a. Yeah. Does anyone? Let's see. Anyone who knows how to read. Yeah. No. I guess it would depend on.
yeah, Deathic runes. I'm assuming Deathic runes are dwarven runes.
I would be dwarf. Yeah.
So I'm assuming these are not.
No,
Yes.
they're not.
I even speak Gnomish, but
We have no idea what these things say. I mean,
but I am curious so that if it's just kind of like written at current face level, right? The script. So I'm assuming I could look at the stone and tell if these are like later editions. You know, somebody is like these are not original the inscription, or are they?
Actually, Banathor recognizes a good portion of it.
do I?
He, so I guess it would be. He translates it as that.
Okay, I'll inform the party. So I go up, I take a glance at it, and I kind of nod, and I look at everybody, and I said, "The gates of Sul curse those who enter unbidden."
Well, that
Wow.
sounds
Yeah.
rather daunting. You know, I wonder if we should go between them or around them. Does the path go through the gates or around them? All right.
Through.
Well, you got to figure we should do what the path would suggest. That's what everyone else is doing. Maybe going around them would be unbidden.
So I'm gonna just wear so Salmon's just gonna hold the amulet and stride through under the arch.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Might have something to do with the amulet.
Okay.
Although what I think is going on here, guys, to be honest with you, is I think it's just a warning for those that come into this land to behave themselves. And this is kind of like a trade, a signpost to the major trade road. I think that's what we're looking at here.
And hearing the word Sul, I mean, I'm assuming that has something to do with Suloise, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's
It
got
would
to
be the progenitor of the race.
right.
Yeah. So
Okay, so Salmon, you walk through the arch, followed by Guntag, and nothing happens to either of you.
Okay. I'm just gonna bid everybody come.
all right. Come
Graham
on,
will
we'll
follow.
We
Certainly.
sing a traditional song.
Okay, continuing on, yes.
I hope
Yes.
I am.
I don't speak for
come
everybody.
on.
Ever, so.
Okay. Let's see here, Jeremiah. So Pathfinder allows you to do overland guiding. Okay. Okay, through rough terrain.
Dude, yeah, these stats on Vanathor, Jesus. 17, 16, 18, 16. Like, what the fuck?
He's a wizard, wild mage.
Yeah, I mean, he got 2 sevens. I don't know, where they do a lot of, he's a half orc? Zool?
No,
He just looked like one.
but he doesn't anymore.
Right, he got cured. I got better.
Wow.
It was a wild surge.
Yep. All right.
Hey, I'm here momentarily.
Oh,
Yes.
got it. It was a wild surge. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, the first spell he cast.
Oh, of course. These
Okay,
stats.
so James, it seems to me that Moss has some kind of ability to lead as well, correct?
Yeah, the Wanderer's skill allows me to give everyone an extra sixth of travel.
Okay.
So instead of traveling, let's say 24 miles in a day, you'd be traveling 28.
I think it would be
Okay.
30, wouldn't it? Or 6th.
So let's see.
That's how it's described in the kit.
Yeah. So your the first portion of the day where you were coming down from the mountains, even though you're going downhill, you're still in the mountains. So let's see here. You got 4 miles and then another 2.
Sometimes it takes longer when you're going down the hill trying to stop your forward momentum from falling forward.
So 4, 8, 10. Okay, so yeah, you're about 22 miles or so far today. So you're kind of in the afternoon at this point. Does the party pass through the apparently gates of Sewell?
Yes.
Yes.
I certainly will. I'll follow Salmon and Guntag. I'll sing my song.
Could we get a time broadcast, John?
Sorry, what was that?
Could we get a time broadcast to the chat?
I see.
I don't think I have that.
Oh, okay.
Late
Okay,
afternoon.
Don't worry about it.
It's afternoon,
Okay.
mid-afternoonish kind of thing.
Gotcha. Like dusk.
And, yeah, and
I'm just trying to get an idea if we should travel at night or we should camp, It's like
Mid-afternoonish to those who are backloonish.
all right. So again, you follow the path, and it sort of bends to sort of head directly north, and you again sort of see like dust storms to the west of the trail that you're following, and you can't really see too deep into them. But it does kind of seem like it probably goes on for a bit of a distance.
Wow, and they don't move. They just kind of stay in that area. They're not like going with the wind. Like as the wind blows, these things just don't alter their course or direction. They
Sorry,
just
guys.
stay. What do you guys think those are, man?
Some foul magic from long ago. We know there was a terrible war here, right? Some side effect of the
Yeah, can I
rain
ask?
of colorless fire.
I missed the beginning, and I probably should know this because of my race. Like, so the sea of dust, isn't that toxic dust everywhere? Or is it just like in certain places that it's toxic? Because I always thought the sea of dust was like a toxic gray colored sand from an ancient Sul like war.
Yeah,
Am I
between
getting that correctly?
Becluni and the wasn't it the Becluni and the Suls? Right?
I think so,
Suloise?
and so it was like a post-apocalyptic landscape almost, right?
Yeah.
It seems to be healing though. So we're north of the dust wall. The dust wall is the mountains that we just crossed over, correct?
We are in the sea of dust now.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're in the sea of dust. It must be some areas, are still like maybe recovering from that cataclysm, or, they're just I don't know. I'll ask John when he gets back a little bit of history on that because my
I'm
character's
just trying to remember who got what. One of them got the invoked devastation, and the other one got the rain of colorless fire.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I was always under the impression though that the land was very like to breathe in the dust was toxic. Like it was literally like poison to breathe it in. But maybe it's not like that everywhere, maybe it's starting to heal itself. Um,
Or
and
it might
I'm
change with the weather. So
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I feel
we
like,
could just
yeah.
be on the edges. We might not even
Yeah, I don't know how
be
far
in it.
deep we are into it as far in the mountain range, because like in Greyhawk, it starts like there's that what are the name of those mountains? The hell furnaces, and like on
Yep.
the other side of those is like Yemenry and
Yep.
Joff
Yep.
and all that. I don't know how far west we are of that range of the hell furnaces.
Hundreds of miles, but it is all desert until there.
Yeah.
But we don't really know because we just walked out. If you zoom back out, we
Yeah. I
we got
see
sucked
that.
through a dimensional portal and we walk
Yeah.
out of a hot dungeon
Yep.
type thing, and here we are.
Yeah, you guys got literally launched warp zone level 8, like right to Sea of Dust. Quite a system shock for some of the dwarves
Yeah.
and other.
Yeah, with the and we thought we had a bad we were trapped with a family of trolls. And
Yeah, I wish I was there for that one.
yeah, there's like teenagers and youngsters and like
Oh, that's great.
grandma and grandpa troll, and oh man, yeah.
So
It's like
did it turn into a fight, or did you, or
it was so awkward because we were the invaders, right? I mean, they had stolen our horses, and we went in there to get our horses back, and then they come in the entrance, and they're like, and we're like, oh, man.
they started it though.
Yeah.
They stole your horses, man. They're gonna eat your horses. Come on.
Yeah, they just saw a free snack. Yep.
Yeah. Just regular trolls.
Yeah.
we were all
For some reason,
spelled
I'm
out.
seeing like, one of the kids had like on maybe it's just my imagination, but a backwards like baseball hat. It's like
Get a little bit of Dark Tower in there, like the bleeding of worlds together.
Yeah.
Finding a can of Pepsi in the desert right here, or Nozzle Cola.
Yeah.
Buried in the sand. Oh man. Yeah, so like if you want to ask him when he gets back, just to get the little bit of the, or I can ask him,
Yeah.
the dust history a little bit basic, we don't have to spend too much time on it, but just I'll ask him. It'd be cool is that when you're taking notes, if the player could drop pins onto the map, the DM actually allowed it,
Yeah.
Like you could like unlock the map to. I wonder if you can do that. I wonder if he unlocked the map.
Here's a Sea of Dust reference that can look at. So it's the Hell Furnace is to the east, but there's also the Suloise to the north. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thank you for sending that link.
Hell Furnace is the east.
Yeah, see, okay. The Sea of Dust is dominant. Here we go. I'm starting to learn my Greyhawk. I'm kind of proud of myself here, man. I've been I get a crash course with it because everybody else knows it more than me. I play with a bunch of players like you guys that been playing much longer. The Sea of Dust is dominated by powdery gray ash immediately west of the Hell Furnaces. More ash is added every year. It becomes less ash clogged towards the Sulots. Okay, where
That's
is the Sulot?
to the north, right? They're the branch of like.
One second. Where ruined fortifications and walled cities of the Suloise can still be seen, but they're ruined. Correct? Yep, these next sentence, literally. These ruined buildings have the characteristic high-angled look still favored by the Sul descended people in places such as Lendor Isles and Sea Princes. Interesting. It's like in Keolin. This here's an interesting one. I wish I could go farther down on this map. I think we're farther down. But the central region of the Sea of Dust is most alien. Rather than gray ash, the substance of the sea is white, caustic powder that blows around and causes those who do not protect their mouths and nose with damp cloth to cough blood. Ugh. Mixed with water, it forms a strong lye. Great, dude. Cancer.
Yeah, you don't want to breathe it.
No. The light reflecting off the white dunes will blind those who do not protect their eyes with slitted visors or masks. So Solomon would know all this and would relay this information as it become pertinent to the group as they're traveling. So we're not really like, we're not meta gaming here at all. Like he would know all this. He's from in the southwest of the Sea of Dust, there's small amounts of rainfall. And here various groups of nomads are able to survive. It's probably where we are. Southwest area. The dust of this region is dry soil rather than alien alkaline material or ash. That's where we are. We're in that area.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, we have to be because it's the
Basically,
the only hospitable place in the Sea of Dust. Most of the Sea of Dust is a nightmare.
And that vast majority is between us and everything we know from our life.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. We're on the other side of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at the big map right here and see here.
So it was the rain of colorless fire that created the Sea of Dust.
Correct.
Yeah.
So cool, all the history, that they added to this over the years. The gig gets seeded, and then and the players actually built up a lot of stuff around it with like living Greyhawk. That's so cool. So
And I think some of that even came from
Arnest?
Dave Arnes's
Yeah.
Blackmore. Blackmore.
Yeah, all Blackmore bled into a lot of things. Yeah, if you want to get technical, that was the first,
Yeah.
Blackmore. It's interesting if you keep going farther north and see a dust, you'll hit I can't read this name of the mountain range.
My apologies, everyone.
Oh, no, you're fine, dude. Totally.
So you continue north?
Yeah.
Yeah, northwest.
Yes, we do.
Well, actually, it's straight north at this point. Yeah. If we
Oh,
follow the
okay,
path.
I'd see. Yeah.
Well, we follow our guides, right? We're gonna follow. It's who's the tag team? It's Jeremiah and is it Moss or who's the other?
Well,
Yeah,
Our two guides.
precisely with the Pathfinder.
They're working on their.
Yeah, I guess I'd be leading if we're trying to get extra movement in a day.
Right. But then,
Oh, this is a cool map.
okay, at the end of the day, you are right about there.
ooh, awful close to those.
It starts to it starts to get a bit darker, and you notice a distinct drop in temperature begin.
Okay.
Do you think we could move ahead quickly to get away from the edge of the storms? Like
2 miles, a mile or two away.
it's only like it'd be like 4 miles.
I mean, it's like more like a mile. We're like a mile away from the edge since we're in the middle. We're in the hex. Hex with 2 miles across. I'm assuming we're dead center on that hex. We're about a mile away.
Yeah, give or take. Yep. Yeah.
So if we wanted to go
Go
off
a little further away.
I don't think it's storm so much as just the radiant cooling.
right, I just figured if we're going to have
okay.
to make camp soon, like before we make camp, that we may not want to be so close, like in case the wind changes or something.
Gotcha. Understood that.
These are strange little anomalies in this desert. Never seen clouds that don't move with the wind. Clouds of dust and sand.
So are you going to head off the trail, or are you going to stay relatively close?
I
Go
vote
off
to
maybe a
head
mile,
off
maybe?
about 2 mile, like a mile, or at least a mile or 2 miles
Sure.
northeast of this direction into the adjacent hex right here. Get
Absolutely.
away from this.
Sure. So yes.
That would be taken.
And even though it's getting kind of dark, well, you are able to kind of see a little bit more.
Oh,
That there does appear to be sort of a rocky cleft, I guess, or area rising out of the sand, just sort of to the east of where you are. It's the same sort of reddish brown mixed with kind of like a grayish, almost like a soot color of the stone. It's very irregular and jagged, and it rises up anywhere from say 10 to 30 feet.
Mhm.
But at this point, you are definitely sort of it's definitely dark at this point, and it is cooling down considerably.
want to head for the cleft and try to make.
I just don't want to
camp?
run into Papa Jupiter or something. You guys ever seen The Hills Have Eyes? The
I
1970s.
hear you.
I
I
don't want to
figure
run into
we'd
Papa
be fine
Jupe,
just in
dude.
the open desert.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just. I vote for. I'd like to camp here.
Yeah, I'd camp here.
Looks like we were voting on go
Circle the camels.
Yeah, let's get the
Circle them up.
yeah, also it might be a good idea to what do you call it when you tie them down? Like there's a technical name for that.
Hobble them.
Yeah, it might be a good idea, dude, in case some dust storm kicks up and we lose all of our freaking equipment because our animals scatter. So it might be a good idea to hobble them.
Okay.
See, my neighbor is running running his chainsaw, so I hear there's some kind of shelter thing, cave-like thing.
We don't know what it is. There's a cleft of rocky outcropping, 10 to 30 feet high, same reddish brown stone we've encountered in the mountains.
Mhm.
Sounds like the Black Hills in South Dakota.
Does.
Something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd like to
I
go
don't
check that out.
Yeah.
Okay. You can vote. I have a little vote in the chat. Says go to Rocky Cleft or not.
Well,
Like you can,
I'm a mage thief. I can crawl up there and check it out and see if it might be worth something we want to stay in before we take a vote.
Yeah, you can
okay.
tell lay of the land.
All right. So we will undo our votes until whatever.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right. Sure. So Island Eye. Let's see here. So these are craggy, low hills of broken and baked stone that jut upward at weird angles. Even though it's kind of dark now, you can kind of see the effect is they still sort of cast shadows because they kind of block out sort of the ambient nighttime light. So there are areas where it's even darker than the night darkness. The rock appears to be scoured by untold years of wind and sandstorms. They, like I said, they jut out anywhere from 10 to 30 feet out of the sand, and around the base of the rocky hills or the cleft, there are sort of small sections of rubble and sort of shattered rock and shale and loose stone. So you could probably climb up if you wanted to.
Yeah, I want to climb up, take a look in it.
Okay. What's everybody else going to be doing while Island Eye is doing this?
I'm just gonna be watching the animals.
Yeah. Unless you want someone to go with you, right? We'll wait here unless you want to take someone with you.
Okay.
Yeah, Garm will be maintaining his equipment and sword.
Did we procure any kind of tents?
It's a good idea.
I think we did.
Polish the axe blade with sand.
You have 9 riding camels. 1 water bladder per camel. Rations. And you have additional armor of, I guess, leathers for those of you who are wearing metal armor as your primary.
Okay.
And regarding tents, we don't have any.
Yes, we do. We got tents.
Okay. I thought we did. I didn't hear it in the manifest. Just read back.
Right.
Good question. There is that in the notes. Hope we didn't leave them behind.
No, I would assume that you would have tents.
All right.
So, Island Eye, give me a climb roll, please.
What is feedback? Clay pots.
Did we lose Ian? Oh no, Ian's still here. Ian,
No, I'm sorry. It was
that's okay. Is your neighbors massacring people next door?
no. He's done now. I can hear.
That's funny.
Leatherface next
Sure.
door.
Ian, join me in the sidebar room, please.
Okay.
The sidebar.
He doesn't get eaten by ant eggs.
Can you change your?
See, that's why I'm thinking the rocky outcrop could be useful, because do you remember how that was useful when we got attacked by the sand kegs on the way in? Is people were able to jump up on those bits of stone and get some relative safety for missile fire and stuff.
Advantage.
But who knows? I mean, maybe we go over there and it's like filled with Morlocks or something. I don't,
Yeah.
Darrow.
Could be just a random roll.
Could just be rock. Yeah.
Can you change your display name for each channel that you're in to, like, I see, Mike, that you have all your characters' names on there.
Yeah, it's a nickname
like
thing you can do. So what you do is you right click on your name. Or let me see how you do it. And yeah, the display name. So like, I wonder if you have to do it through the profile. How do we do that?
I think you do.
Edit profile. And user
server
profile.
nickname. Yeah, it's a server nickname. So what I'll do is I found it. Yeah. It would be, what'd be cool is if you could actually have it different per chat channel. You know what I mean? So like in the Sea of Death, you could just have your character's name for that.
Yeah, exactly. Because we've got a lot of different games.
Like, right. And I see that with you, the way you solved it was you just concatenated all of them together. Which
and it's not all of them.
Yeah, no, it's not. I didn't think so. I thought.
Yeah, I need to edit
more
it actually.
Yeah, because then you got to include Dwayne's game too.
Yeah, we got tons of them. We got so. I guess I should keep my actual ID, and then we got let's see. Got Dexter on there. So I've got Valent. Dexter. Gummo. Right.
Like the setting of this this module.
Is that all of them now? No, because no, it's a separate channel. Separate channel. Separate channel. Separate channel.
Makes sense. I mean, they'd have to, have different database entries for each sub channel. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you could do it, but like, yeah.
Oh God.
Got like 7 different nicknames on one person's server. That's a little bit much.
File.
I'll do that though. I think everybody because that's why in our game, that's why I wanted everyone to write bios and and really kind of showcase their character before we played, because it always takes me a while to get to know everyone, and who they're playing. And I like it. By doing it that way, I was hoping that
I have found the character limit on there. So I was able to get 4 characters for John's channel in there with my real name.
Nice. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and do that right now too, while they're in the. Okay.
Wonder how our camels are doing. You know, I haven't wanted to mention it because I just can't see Gummo as a very good camel rider.
I do think we should keep an eye on them though, like when we're out here, because
We don't want to lose camels for sure.
we don't want to lose we don't want to lose our mounts, man. Especially, I don't know how much. I mean, I'm assuming we have a lot of our gear up on the pack animals. That's what pack animals are for.
Yeah,
But,
today's the third day that we've been traveling, so I've cast animal friendship on 3 of the 9.
Okay.
So anytime we have long rest, I can cast animal friendship on another one.
Mm-hmm.
So once all 9 have been, become friendly, and I can train them to act in specific ways.
Uh-huh.
But it would have to take place, after we camp, not during travel.
Right.
Okay.
I can
Right.
teach them a very simple trick. I
All right.
also
So,
can talk to them, but minimally.
okay,
Right.
everyone. Island Eye is gone for about 8 to 10 minutes after she starts to climb up the side of these rocks. And then, like I said, 8 to 10 minutes, she climbs back down.
I found some
Yeah.
kind of ledges openings where we could probably sleep. There's some look like kind of pack rat animals. They weren't threatening at all. I think we'd be fine. We can't take our camels up there, but we could get up there if we needed to.
Mm. Yeah. I'm not too
Okay.
keen on leaving the animals down here.
Well, I mean, we have to have somebody. Maybe that's where whoever's on watch stays with the camels, right?
Sure. Yeah, that'll work. Just don't want to leave them down on the valley
Yeah, they'd have to be
floor
alone.
while we're up in the hills.
Because I think we have enough people that if we have multiple, someone can at least have one person always with a camel, and the other person can rove.
Yep.
Range.
Rove and range. Yeah, so it looks like we're gonna camp up for the night, so that sounds like a nice place to be. I guess
Good.
we need to rest and
Good
travel all
find
day.
Island Eye. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what's your watch order going to be? Same as in the party sheet?
I don't have any objection to that. I'm
Okay.
easy with the watch.
Okay, so
Does
let's see.
anybody need something different? Yeah.
Put me where it's the most advantageous to everybody else. I'm okay with that. Always with the watch.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Of course, I'm
we would
not
be
a
on foot
caster
watch,
too,
yeah.
so.
So let's see here. Everyone's fully healed with the exception of Salmon. So if anyone wanted to cast healing spells before resting, you certainly could.
I'll go ahead and cast them on
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
I couldn't hear if somebody else was talking, but it was very faint.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'll go ahead and cast some healing on Solomon. How many are you down?
I am down 9.
Oh. All right.
That was my encounter with the oh, nice roll. That was my
Oh.
encounter with the starfish. The what was it called again? We wouldn't know the name of it, but it was like a
The
Oh
munchkin.
yeah.
tentacled
Yes.
horror.
So do you take any precautions out of the ordinary other than simply having 2 people on every watch, with the exception of the last one?
Well, I'm definitely going to hobble the animals, and I will not be far from them at all times.
Okay.
And So that's other than, keeping a weary eye open, but I'm assuming, because of my background and being a thief and a fighter, I've got a good sense of alertness. So
Right. Sure. Let's see here. Let's do this.
and John, do you mind dropping the healing onto my
Oh,
character?
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
No, no worries, man.
Just to bring it to
Thank
your
you.
attention too, it looks like I'm on watch by myself. I don't know who Diesel is. Can somebody from the fourth watch volunteer to stand watch with me?
Sure. Emma will be on watch with you.
sure.
Because Diesel is currently right.
Yeah, well, we'll put him on fourth. He's the character that seems to be vacant. So that's fine. He'll
Who?
go on fourth.
What character? I'm sorry.
Diesel,
Sorry, no.
the barbarian.
Barbarian. Okay.
The aged
Yeah,
barbarian. So let's see here. First watch. So we're talking about 2 hours per watch, broken up 4 ways. So that's pretty good. 2 hours of the night pass. Moss and Graham, everything is quiet.
Time to hit the sack.
Starting good.
Next, Jeremiah and Gummo, your 2 hours, give or take, pass uneventfully.
Great. Some shut eye here.
Island Eye and Guntag. Island Eye, are you climbing back up to these on these rocks for your portion of the watch?
Not from a watch. I don't think I need to do that.
Okay. Okay. Island Eye and Guntag. Let's see here. Well. Let's see here.
Starfish horror. Papa Jupiter's coming down from the hills, man. Pluto.
Now I don't know that reference. The
Oh god, dude.
from the hills have eyes. I don't know that one.
Yeah, look it up.
Okay.
Watch it sometime. You'll.
Yeah.
It's entertaining.
But in
watch the original one. Don't watch the remake. Or if you want to watch the remake, at least do it after you watch the original.
All right.
I know that
I sent you a message.
I'm sorry, John.
Oh,
Message.
That's okay.
Oh, not
To Island Eye.
Okay.
yeah.
Who am I on watch with?
Guntag.
Guntag, we're being watched, I think.
Where from? Can you tell where?
I don't know. Everywhere.
Everywhere. So let's see. Guntag is human, isn't he? Yeah.
I could be imagining things, but I have no idea.
Well, keep a sharp eye out. Where I am human, I cannot see.
Okay, so the rest of your 2 hours pass. Island Eye, you cannot shake that feeling Guntag, nothing out of the ordinary sort of comes to your attention. So you're not sure what
What's
Island Eye is talking about. Or perhaps you're just not perceptive enough.
okay?
Or perhaps Island Eye is crazy.
Last watch, fourth watch, passes uneventfully, with the exception of course, the rising sun in the morning, very early, and with it, almost immediately, the heat starts to climb. So I'm going to do a long rest. Anyone who wants to change spells certainly can do so. But I assume you're going to continue on to the north, back to the trail kind of thing.
Yeah.
Tell me otherwise.
Correct.
Yes, sir. And I'll do my weather sense ability in the morning.
Jeremiah, you feel like most days are exactly what you observed yesterday here. You kind of feel like there is not much variation in terms of what you can expect.
Okay. I'll keep doing it every morning, just to be on the lookout for any kind of major weather shift.
Sure.
Hey, John, Guntag's gonna tell the rest of the party what Island Eye and I felt during our watch, and that we should keep a close watch to see if anybody's following us or anything.
All right. So, early in the morning here, you rather quickly come to a place where your trail splits into three. One portion continues north, one heads roughly east, and one heads roughly west. At this place, you find lying in the sand, half buried, an obelisk of some sort. The top of it pointed to the southwest. There are runes visible carved into its surface.
Obelisk.
It's a signpost, right? There we go. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, it's fallen over, hasn't it? Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, 1 second, guys.
Easy to spot. Neither right nor left. It appears to ignore the signpost completely. Well, we should definitely check it out. And I wonder if I could use any kind of my stone skills to see if I could find out which way it originally faced before falling over, like if it has a foundation or anything.
Or just anything discernible too about it, you know.
Mhm.
Like, okay, so
Just throw in the old.
sand. I'm gonna take this right here, copy that, put that there. Perfect.
The path most traveled might not be the path that we need to take.
Yeah, we need to compare this now with our map. Also, we have inscriptions. Well, it's more of the same. We're gonna that almost looks like it says pyramid.
Yeah, I saw
on the bottom.
Interesting.
Oh man, something about signs.
Let's see here.
If you can read this, you're lost.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yep.
So you're reading
Note,
guys.
Here lies rude bonobos singing of gender. So here lies the road.
Banathor can read most of this again. He says it's sort of similar to ancient Suloise, and he translated it loosely as.
All right. Here lies the road of the kings to the garden city of Pazar, whilst there lies the road to Turbakar, keeper of the pyramid. Well, that is where we need to go, right? Is the whilst there. We are going, if we look at our maps, we can pull out our I'll pull out our goat skin maps for the party to look at, and so we can all kind of take a look. Right, we have the map of the desert, which would be the one here on the back of this goat skin, and the uncategorized images map of the desert.
Sorry, I didn't mean to drop that twice. Oh, cool. Okay.
I wonder if we can actually put together. We recognize any words on the map of the desert on here?
Let's compare the writing.
Yeah. One thing is we're starting to see, obviously where it looks like cursive rude is road, right? So it's like here lies the road, right? You can almost read it, right? If you look at it now and you look at the translation. Here lies the road of the kings, right? To the garden city of Pazar. Whilst there lies the road to, well, no way would I get Turbakar out of that, but keeper. Wow, it's so wild. Keeper of the pyramids. I was right. It said, it looks like it says pyramid. It does, right? On the bottom. This is
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. And all right, and we are trying to go to.
So we could take those letters and actually see what. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. A couple more of these we might.
Yeah, Turbakar looks like that. If you look at the map of the desert, it's to the west.
Mm-hmm. Map of the desert is to the west. That's Turbakar? Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? It does look like that. Turba. Yeah, it is. It's Turbakar. Whilst there lies the road to Turbakar. So we must be. Is this the crossroads? So we're coming from the top down. Is that what's happening?
I think we came from the south.
Maybe
we gotta orient this. We have to orient this with our sea of dust.
maybe it's north oriented, and this is where we are right here. I'm pointing.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we came from what, Pazar?
Yeah.
Let's look at the Pazar, the garden city of Pazar. Here lies the road of the kings to the garden city of Pazar. That doesn't look like Pazar up there. It looks more like sacred pool at the top, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is.
I don't know what this.
Pazar,
I don't know what this says.
We came from.
They came from Bralazar.
Oh,
Bralazar. Yeah.
We're off. We came from off the map.
Yes.
But are we actually heading down on the map? Right. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, I'll tell you what we don't see. We don't see the. You would think that if the gate of Sul, right?
Think it'd be on here.
That would be on the map if we, if we're on the. If that were supposed to be on the map, we would see it drawn on the map, right? So the gate of Sul must be off this map.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Do you think it's to the?
I think it's
to the north of the map, or you think it's that way?
Yeah. me look at something really quick.
Just to confirm that that shining object in the distance is directly to the north still?
It kind of seems to be to the northeast still.
Okay. All
Or,
right.
sorry, northwest.
Northwest? All right.
Northwest.
And what did you guys believe it to be? That shining object? Do you think it's part of the
City.
pyramid or something else?
Like a city.
I don't know. I mean, do we see the shining pyramid anymore? Or
Yes.
did we almost,
You see something shining to the northwest.
okay, still going up there. I've got to try to organize all of this stuff here. Map the desert. Our current map. And the obelisk inscription. All right. So, well, Turbicar is here, right? So we can compare the inscription and see that this says Turbicar here. I'm pointing at the map of the desert, right? Yeah. So that's a good call. We need to label that. And then
let's see here.
And this must be Pizar on the bottom. Let's see. Garden City of Pizar. Right, and this is Pizar. So this is Turbicar, and this is Pizar. So we must, like you say, we're here then, right? So I think we've come up. We've followed the road this way to here, right? Soon to be Turbicar. Yep.
Old is this map?
Quite old.
Okay. Can we put another pin on this one that says Pizar? We assume this one to be
why
Pizar.
I asked that, right, Mike?
Yeah.
The
What?
roads might have changed. The roads might have changed. This might be a very old kind of rudimentary map the way it used to be. We can get our bearings from it. Obviously, the structures and the places we need to visit are all on it, but the roads might actually be different. I'm just wondering if where we are is right around here.
Yeah, at the you think that's where we are? Okay.
Maybe.
Like we might even be coming from there to this three-part. The trail has brought us to here. We followed it on the red arrow to there. Now we have the 3 ways to choose from.
Yeah.
And
And I think the shiny thing we're looking at could be very likely
Turbicar?
Yeah.
Well then,
Either
I
that
guess
or
we go
this.
northwest.
Okay. And yeah, is that on our script anywhere? Let's take a look at the script. This is wild. It not quite. Garden City. Let's see if we can find it. Here's the road to.
Oh, cool. You're making notes. Cool.
Yeah. About the obelisk. Yeah. So what I'm curious, is it possible to look at the fallen obelisk and see which way it was oriented when it stood up? Like, is there a broken part of the pedestal or something where we could determine its orientation?
Okay. Sure.
I rolled a stone.
Anyone who thinks they may have a skill that might be applicable can make a roll in the tower.
Okay.
Or if there's no roll associated with it, just speak up.
I've got a roll I threw in the tower a little bit there. I don't know if you still see it. It's for stonemasonry is what I was looking at. But also direction sense. I'm going to throw in a direction sense.
I'll start digging. Let's get to the base, and like you say, if it's broken half, the base should match up and tell us.
It'd be a rectangular base, right? Yeah, square base that would be oriented. Yeah.
Yeah, Graham will help with the digging.
Sure.
So he doesn't have any useful skills to decipher the other stuff.
Sure. So, after a little bit of time, you can tell that you dig down to where the base of the obelisk was, and you can kind of tell that it twisted a little bit when it fell. And sort of by looking at what Banathor has translated, and then sort of figuring out how it was standing when it was standing, you feel like that the trail that leads to the east was indicated to be headed towards Pazar, and then the trail that leads to the west was heading to Turbakar.
Okay, so it looks like we've come up this way. Then is what it would be, right? So if west is going to Turbakar, right? But we don't know. Maybe we're down here or something. But east is Pazar and west is Turbakar, and we need to go to Turbakar, right? Because we are looking for this pyramid temple. If we go to the images, y'all have got a reality check me on this too. Map of the tomb of Amun-Re. This is where we're trying to go. Oh, look, and it says Turbakar on there. Right? Let's check this. On the map of the tomb of Amun-Re is there. It says Turbakar again on the bottom, and temple. Right now we can kind of read this. So this word says temple, right? Cities of something tomb, right? Cities of the tomb, right? So here's this. Oh, this word here is the same as in the obelisk inscription. So that would be the king's tomb. Yeah, cities to. Actually, it's not two. Yeah. Cities to this last one here.
Point at what you're looking at.
That word is two, and it's the same word as we see in the inscription on the map of Tomb and Ray. If you look at the obelisk, right, inscriptions, we see that word here. I can't. There we go. There. I'm looking for this word. Looks like, but
city or something.
Map of the tomb of Amun-Re. Yeah, I mean, Tomb of Amun-Re is the title on there, on the title. So we see Tomb of Amun-Re. Yeah. Here lies the. This is again the, right? Yeah. That's the Tomb of Amun-Re. That's the title.
To know that it was the Tomb of Amun-Re.
Right. Yeah, so this says the Tomb of Amun-Re. Okay. Something cities of tomb. Cities of tomb. Temple. And this one is the Turbakar. And I don't know.
It's this one at the front, Jared's Pool or something. Jacquard Pool on the north.
Or Sacred Pool? That's what I'm wondering, is it say Sacred Pool?
Sorry.
Yeah, Sacred Pool.
That's it.
Yep. Okay, but we definitely want to go west, right? We want to head west.
Yeah.
And
I think it'll become more apparent too. Like,
yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So
So you guys
yeah,
are up all around the fallen obelisk. You guys walked all up and around it.
yeah, and they dug it out. Everybody
Yeah,
dug,
to
dug,
see what
dug down
direction it
to
fell.
the pedestal base, right? That
Yeah.
it was leveled
Mhm.
on, and
Yeah,
then
and
we
then
kind of reoriented it and determined from the way it was supposed to. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool.
Very good.
So we need to go this way. We need to go west. Wow. Like that was
That was a
freaking
good
cool.
job. Yeah.
That was freaking cool. Oh, it's like what's really scary is like, and I was, we were just talking to some folks, that so apparently they don't teach how to write cursive in school anymore.
No, they don't anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is a form of cursive, the script, right? I mean, if you look at it, it just looks like some.
They're busy teaching important things, dude. Like, what is a woman? Shit, right?
Like, yeah, it's like whatever I say it is, not, yeah.
Or like drag
But
shows.
you can't say unless you are one.
Important shit,
Yeah. Yeah.
Ebonics and important shit, It's gonna help
Yeah.
you be a productive member of society.
There's so much more to the bonobo dream, but I can't say it.
I was reading that and I'm like, isn't that a chimpanzee?
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like, okay, in my mind, right? I'm like, I hear it's like, oh, they're bonobos, right? I mean, but they look more like teddy bear bugbears, right? I mean, there was a big one and a little one, right? And like one was like 7 foot high and it has very sparse black fur with gray skin, which is really weird because that is, so it turned out I had to look it up. It's like there is a bonobo, right? So something in my mind knows that there's a bonobo out there, and I'm like, but it didn't look like a chimp, like an actual bonobo looks, right?
Yeah, no, you just knew bonobo
Just
and it's something else.
These creatures in there. And they were from Austin, Texas.
Wow. I know my dreams are fucking weird too, man. So I get it. I have the weirdest dreams.
Yep.
The weirdest dreams. I'll flail out sometimes to my wife. He's like,
Well,
it's okay. Yeah, like I'll like, like I'm in a war zone. Like it's all right.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
Sorry. So have you decided which direction you're going?
Yeah. I mean, from what we tell from doing the reorienting the obelisk, like in our mind, we don't have to physically do it. But if it's to the west, then that it says that we need to go to Turbicar. That would be the keeper of the pyramid. So since we're looking for the tomb of Amun-Re, and that's a pyramid, I think we go that way, right? Anybody have any other ideas, like better ideas?
Short answer,
No,
West.
that's good. Like,
Go west.
Yeah, I think we need to get the lay of the land more, for sure. What is this little? The little tent icon. That's where we camp.
Yes.
Is that what, cool. You have to show me how you got that. Do they have those little assets like that, John?
That's something I bought online. A bunch of like mapping sort of symbols.
Mm-hmm. Like it. Very cool.
Okay, so to the west then.
That's what the dream bonobo has told me to do. Let's go west, young man.
Right. So, you head off to the west.
Moss is quietly befriending every camel in the group.
At some point.
They're coming eventually, so again, as you travel west, you kind of see that the trail sort of heads off to the northwest. It winds in and out around sand dunes. Very rarely does it actually go over a dune and down the other side. It definitely seems to try to stick to sort of a lower lower elevation, and this, of course, makes your travel a little bit more uncomfortable because any breeze that there is kind of is blocked by the rise of the dunes to the sides and front and behind you. However, let's see here. All right, and you continue on. Yeah, put you here, and you see again that you are sort of starting to come into an area which is almost like these sort of rocky formations rise up to either side of the trail that you're following. Now, keep in mind that each hex is 2 miles, so it's not like you're closed in tightly on either side. It's just, as you look to your right and your left, you can see rock formations rising up. And let's see here. And while you're on this trail, it's not as well formed as the one that you traveled on for your first day north of the dust wall. The going is somewhat more difficult, and you also used some time at the crossroads to sort of orient yourselves with the obelisk and the like. But you can tell that you're getting closer to whatever is this source of this massive sparkling light. You can tell that you're definitely getting closer, significantly so.
Gem in the desert.
And you kind of get to here, and so I would say you kind of see again. So you're sort of going through a section like this, and actually at the end of the second day, because of all the twisting and turning and everything that this ill-formed trail takes, you only make it this far during the day, and it starts to get dark again, and you really haven't gone all that far this day. You also find that the sand here is much looser than it was farther south, which seems to it makes travel more difficult. Your mount's feet sink into the sand, and which makes it a struggle to sort of maintain kind of an even forward movement, because the camels are always kind of stumbling and sort of as they move forward. They're pretty sure-footed, but it just makes for a slower journey. And those of you who get off your animals and try to guide them, you find that you fare not really any better. Your feet sink into the sand. Sometimes it's just past your ankle. In other times, it's all the way up to almost your knee.
Wow.
You're, every 5 or 10 minutes, somebody is stopping and sitting down and taking their boots off and emptying out a whole bunch of sand that's starting to chafe on the inside of your boot as you're walking. It just makes for a slower journey. And
Yeah.
this is as far as you make it.
Do y'all want to go to the stonier, more solid ground to either our left or our right? Where do y'all want to? Who wants to pick the camp spot?
Are those
Again, I don't
those
think our
foothills
characters
right
are-
there to our left or to our north?
They're kind of the same type of rocky outcroppings that
Yeah.
you camped next to
Yeah, I
the
get it.
previous night.
Right. Well, this road sucks. I don't know if that's going to speed up our progress making our way into like, foothills like that, but I think both ways suck. And
And some of this,
All roads suck.
all roads suck.
Yes. So, are you the same precautions as the previous night?
Absolutely.
Same order, I guess.
Yeah, I've had a bad experience with losing mounts before, so yeah, definitely
Okay.
same precautions there.
Right.
nice, Moss.
You haven't lived till you've lost all your inventory because your mount ran off.
That's how we got here. One of the mounts ran off, and it had Banthor's spellbook.
Nice.
I
So we
had a
had-
wild mage cast something and ended up being a fireball that burned all my shit off of me. Armor, weapon, everything. I was not
That's
happy with
when
that
you
damn goblin.
That's right. And after he did that, that's about the time when you accidentally miss the enemy and decapitate your friendly fire. And by
Okay,
accident, of course.
let's see here. First
First watch.
Watch.
Okay, Moss and Graham, please join me in sidebar 1, please.
Sure thing.
Right.
So are we just right out here on the sand? Did we not go to the rocky stuff, or?
I was assuming that we were like, at the foot of the hills, like kind of
Yeah.
against the wall. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't just camp in the middle of the road. Like
Yeah, that seems kind of weird. Yeah, it's
it'd be kinda nice
so it's
to
like a
have,
mile to either side of the road, right? We just go a mile off to
the
get to
good
the.
thing is it probably block the wind in here, like at night, so it won't get as cold.
That's probably why the dust is so piled up. Yeah, yeah.
Plus, we're gonna be sleeping next to rocks, so
I totally want to translate all that stuff now. Now that we've got kind of
yeah,
a
you're
key.
good at that, dude. Like
It's like
you're actually really good at that. You like saw the letter, like it just started forming.
instantly. Yeah, I started. Yeah. I wonder if can I copy this? Yeah, copy text.
Yeah, you can look. I mean, since we have it, we have access to it as a player. Just look it up online. I think I know the module we're playing,
Okay.
but I don't want to know anything
Yeah, I just
about
want
it.
to know how do I. Yeah, it's like hard to get to. I guess I get to save a copy of the picture.
You could, just snapshot it.
Yeah.
It won't be as cool, but
Let's see. So this is the inscription on the pillars. Yep. Not quite the same one. That's the gates of Sewell. I can read it now. Yeah. Yeah. Gates of Sewell curse thee who enters unbidden.
I didn't know that Fantasy Grounds did this, but every time that you log into a game and play, it will cache a copy of your character locally. So, like when you're not, when John takes the server down, like I can literally look at Salmon. I can just create a blank campaign and or any,
import him into the
Well, he's already there. Yeah, or yeah, precisely, like port him in. But yeah, I didn't know that it cached characters created on other
on
people's
other people's
servers
games.
locally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that it went to local drive like that. That
Yeah.
one thing that always threw me off too is how people were able to set their custom portraits without sending me their portrait. And in Fantasy Grounds has some weird. There's a few assets where the host doesn't have to have the client's assets, and portraits is one of them. Like I was like, John, you didn't even send me your portrait. Like, how am I able to see Cobra's picture? Right? It was because he had it locally. So like, I think when the client connects, it just serves up few minor assets. My long-winded point is, I wonder if when it caches, if you'll have access to some of the like if you dropped notes and stuff onto your sheet, I wonder
Yeah,
if,
if you put them on your own character sheet, you'd see them, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Right. Okay. I'm just using the snipping
I'm
tool to
wondering if you
grab
had an
the
external link
photos.
record, right, on your character sheet, if it would be smart enough to go get all external records and save that as part of the cache. I doubt it. I doubt that. It's probably just only the books and modules you own, if you don't have them
Mhm.
loaded up and you go click on your kit, it's just not gonna like what we saw earlier, where the Pathfinder, because we didn't have the Ranger book loaded.
Dust.
They use XML too as their data structure, and it's just awful.
I tried to get ChatGPT to read it. Um, like the XML
XML?
format of the character
Yeah.
sheet, and it was too
Yeah.
long because it had every single spell and everything like that. So like it was
I
like
just don't like the way. I mean, for simple data and back in the day, I mean, it was
yeah.
nice because it's
Yeah.
very concise and readable. But
It just shows you
not,
the age, right, of Fantasy Grounds. It's like
yeah,
they're still using XML for the
yeah,
data transport format. It's like
yeah,
instead of JSON or
yeah,
YAML, right?
yeah. I know.
Yeah.
It's and there's literally at this point like no advantage to using XML in something of this big. They're using it like as like you said, their data transport.
Yeah.
They're almost aren't they using it as the local database like caching? I think they are.
Well,
Like with
yeah,
the
I mean,
save.
it's just it provides that like it's a markup for data, yeah,
Yeah,
so that they could um, push it around as a text file.
right.
Let's see. So this is going to be obelisk. There's the obelisk inscription, and then
Fairly.
save the translation that I have, um, and save that to the same spot
See,
if I
John
could.
needs to get a shared drive like me. We'll be doing this on our game.
Yeah, yeah. All right,
That's
so
why I
this
made it, because everybody can contribute to notes,
obelisk
open up the Word doc.
translation. See, what's really cool, the thing that really got me when I'm like, hey, wow, it's almost like I can kind of read this, which means that the Suloise could have been like us, right?
Yeah, yeah.
This could be like Thundar the Barbarian, right? Future with magic, where as a
I get it.
post-apocalyptic. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. That was the original idea for the Conan movie when, the first Conan the Barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
When Oliver Stone was writing that, because he helped write it, his original idea was to make it post-apocalyptic. Like you find out later that the Hyborian world that Conan's in is like
Future.
1,000, 2,000 years in the future after like a nuclear war. And like,
Yep.
instead of like orcs and stuff, they're like mutated people. I think he probably read The Dark Tower, as well, because that's very similar to The Dark Tower. But that's what like, and don't they have something like that in Forgotten Realms too? Like it's the Netheril
Oh,
Empire
I'm
or
thinking of like
something?
Robert E. Howard, right? So like the guy who
Yeah,
wrote Conan, right? I mean, the thing that he was fascinated by was like the that we
God,
hadn't even barely in the 1930s we had like it's like, wow, we were getting to about 6,000 years in the past, like, where there's a lot of things we just didn't know about, like, and now, I mean, only in the last 20 years or so, we're starting to realize it's like just how far, like,
Oh yeah.
human civilized history goes into the unknown prehistorical stage, right? Like millennia ago, right? I mean, that there's these like 10,000.
No, they're I know,
12,000 years
and
ago.
the gap always gets wider too, and it's like holy shit. It's just that people didn't record history
Yep.
in the same way that. And
Only in
Robert E.
stone.
Howard. I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of him, dude. I got like all his books, but he
Yeah.
was fascinated by that. It was like a blank slate to him too, because he was like, you know what, this is perfect. We know what happened here, but let's go 20, 30,000 years before that,
Yeah.
and I can make up anything.
There's a great scholar in my
Okay.
area. Okay.
So everyone, while you're all resting, while Graham and Moss are on watch, and again, we're talking about 2-hour watches. Sometime in that, say after about an hour or so, you've all kind of had something to eat and just sort of nicely settled down to get a rest. And Moss comes back to the camp and starts waking people up.
Yeah, my message is, we're getting approached by this enigmatic figure. It's odd. He's not aggressive, man-sized, but this is probably some wanderer or stranger. We should go talk to him. Seems odd, I know, but
is it mounted? Is this person on a mount?
No, he's just
okay.
walking.
All right.
Describe him.
Let's While we're gearing up and preparing
to
meet
royalty, honestly. He has a leopard skin outfit. It looks somewhat plodding and despondent. It's hard to explain. It's better if you see it for yourself.
Okay, so everybody's awakened. What do you do when Moss wakes you up?
Well, let's prepare some tea or something to hopefully greet this person in peace.
Okay.
Right?
So, just to sort of give a quick recap, what has been seen. To the northwest, there was some kind of strange blue mist swirling in and out between the dunes, and then from behind a dune, a solitary figure walked out and seemed to be moving down the trail towards Graham and Moss, and obviously towards the group. The figure moves slowly, kind of in a plodding pace, as if every step is difficult, and like carrying a heavy weight kind of thing. He seems to be dressed in a leopard skin robe, kind of like a toga, except made out of leopard skins, and is wearing an ornate skull cap that kind of has almost like a flat fan-shaped plate sticking out of it. As it gets closer, now that you're all sort of up and looking at it, it continues to walk towards you as if not knowing that you're there, or perhaps not seeing.
When I spot this thing, I'm gonna slink back into the shadows.
Okay. There certainly are opportunities to do that. Ian. So give me a roll on the tower, please. And anyone who has observation as a skill can give me a roll as well.
Ram or Jeremiah or Moss, do you guys have?
Oh, I do point out though that his approach doesn't seem to be disturbing to sand.
Okay, I was wondering if he's an apparition, or something.
Well, he also approached out of the mist. We saw like a bluish mist approaching, and a white mist veered off behind a dune, and then he appeared from behind that dune, like he almost appeared out of the mist or was traveling in the mist. As weird as that sounds.
Yeah,
he's not a gorilla either.
Gorilla.
Gorillas in the mist. Yeah.
So, Island Eye and Jeremiah, you both observe this as Graham is telling the rest of you. You notice that the figure is not leaving a trail through the sand. And you can see perhaps it's a trick of the moonlight, but the form seems to be sort of partially, at least, insubstantial. Like for brief flashes of a portion of a second, it's kind of like you can see right through him, and then it sort of solidifies again. And he keeps walking towards you. He's about 20 yards away now.
The pyramid.
Jeremiah will pass along, and this thing ain't human.
Graham, I think you're right. Yeah.
Graham will reach out. Hail. Who goes there? Standard soldier.
Gummo will show himself as well, right? We'll be, that way we don't seem like we're bandits. If this guy is even aware of us.
Okay. So,
Keeper of the pyramid.
So by this point, he's close enough for you to see some detail of the face. The face is kind of sort of haggard, kind of like lined. Kind of like the look, someone who's carrying significant worries, sort of lined and wrinkled and creased, and like a furrowed brow. The eyes appear to be sunken, with sort of dark rings kind of in the face. Underneath them. He gets to about 30 feet away. And
does he show any signs of noticing us? Does he, his haggard worries? Right?
Yeah.
Does he notice?
It's at this point that he stops. And he stands there and looks at you.
Art thou the keeper of the pyramid?
And the mouth opens, and you can see just kind of you can basically see right through him, kind of thing. You can see that there's just kind of darkness, and like no teeth. The mouth moves, but no sound comes out. And he gestures with his hands as if he's talking, gesturing towards you and himself.
Let's take a look. Yeah. All right.
Anyone have comprehend languages? Is he making speech, or is he just mouthing words that we can't hear?
There is no sound, although it looks like he's trying to speak, but no sound.
Ghost or a spirit
not even not any like croaking sounds or gasping or anything like that.
No,
It's just no sounds.
the
Does
spirit.
anyone have like a speak with dead spell handy or prepared?
Totally a spirit.
We got to be able to hear him.
Well,
What about read lips?
Salmon,
Can you guys hear me?
yeah.
Now, yeah.
Okay. Can we attempt to read lips?
I've got nothing that'll help.
I mean, I could. Yeah, I got. Let's see here. This is direction.
Who spoke? Somebody said they have something that could help. Who's
I
that?
don't think so.
Oh,
I've got nothing.
that's Moss.
Sorry, I got completely sidetracked there for a minute. Something was distracting me from the game. So basically, there's a shadowy figure that popped up. He's moving his mouth, but nothing's coming out, right? And he looks kind of dead, or can we see through him? That's the part I missed.
He's
Yes?
like a spirit.
Yeah, like a ghost. You can
Okay,
kind of
Okay.
occasionally
All
see
right.
through him.
I thought I got most of it. Okay. And he's just moving away from us currently. He's just walking
No,
past us.
he's stopped 30 feet from us, and he appears to be attempting to address it. We
Okay. All right. I'm
address
gonna
us.
move up I suggest we move up and see if we can.
Like
Maybe we
if he
just can't hear him. Or, maybe we need to get closer.
him, yeah, maybe he's whispering.
You got like
Okay.
an echo back.
Yes.
One tag's gonna use his undead lore to see if he can tell what this is.
Okay.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Definitely not my thing.
Gun tag. It could absolutely be a spirit or a ghost of some kind.
All right, so I'll let the party know that this what's likely the spirit where it goes.
So we should avoid contact then. Is that correct, Good Dag? Because, like, can't they drain you?
I
Like
would
an
probably know that, right, Dan?
Yeah. Actual ghosts can be really dangerous.
Yes, definitely contact with undead spirits or ghosts is to be avoided.
Okay. And he will definitely tell you that.
Okay.
So I'm going to share a link with you. And I think what I would like is for this link goes to something on YouTube that I found that is perfect for this point. It's about 3.5 minutes long.
Nice.
The idea is you're only supposed to listen to it once.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I will trust that's being done.
Yeah,
so
we're not gonna
I'm
be
going to
cheating.
share that link.
Okay.
You guys can click on it.
Everybody. All right.
Ideally, you listen to it once. I'm going to, and I think what we'll do here is we will end for the night. However, let's see here. There are 9 of you. Yes.
Yes.
So, and listen to it one time only after we end. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, John?
All right. And then whoever's going to do the speaking or getting close to this thing, I will cast protection from paralysis on. It's at least something I can do to whoever's going to try to get up close to if it's whispering. All right. After we.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
John, you there?
All right, then.
Okay. Well, you know what? I better click yes before we lose the link, right? So I'll
I
pause
already
it.
got
All
it
right.
open.
Okay.
I got it open too.
Almond Ray speech. Ah.
Almond Ray.
Okay.
Right.
All righty. Cool.
Thanks for the game, guys.
Very, very excellent. Yeah.
I think John had to
We take
step
the right
away.
direction.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, dude. This is great.
I think we'll
I'm
be
so gonna be like, I'm gonna like create this alphabet. This is like right up Gummo's alley. It's kind of up a couple other characters' alleys too. The whole
It's really
cartography and ancient languages.
Yeah.
So,
Nice work on that.
man,
Yeah.
well, that was last. That yeah. It's like, all right, yeah, let's go get
Did
that guy's his treasure.
Did John step away?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
John,
I got a
thank you,
question
man.
for you, John.
Thank you for the game. Yeah.
Yep.
Great game.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks everyone. Hopefully, I will be slightly better prepared.
Oh, it was
All
fun.
right.
It was great.
Yeah, good.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it's always
Have a good night, all.
Okay, good
Later,
night,
guys.
everyone.
Good night.
Night.
Hey, John, I got a question.
Sure.
The cantrip in this game, I don't know. It's not really specific how it works. I was wondering if I could use that to like maybe read lips.
No. Do you have a copy of Unearthed Arcana?
I think I've got a digital copy.
Okay, I believe that there is. Back then, they were sort of saying like they had individual cantrips. Like basically, it's supposed to be a first level spell, which kind of allows you to do any kind of minor magical effect, like like maybe make like a doll dance or clean yourself off or
Minor stuff and
yes. I give that as kind of an at will sort of spell for any wizards. You can basically cast it at will to do whatever. Like maybe light a campfire. You just snap your fingers and there's flame or something like that. Like just makes your life easier so you don't have to spend time trying to create a spark or whatever maybe.
right. But read lips wouldn't be one of those things.
I wouldn't think so. No.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, you have a good night. I'm gonna exit now.
Sure.
All right. See you.
Bro.
Hey, John,
See
you
you
want to
Monday.
talk for a minute?
Yeah, sure, James. I can.
Okay. How's your aunt?
Oh, well. So like today wasn't as good as yesterday, but it was better than the day before.
Okay.
So it's kind of like she's recovered from the pneumonia physically, but sort of I think the whole process of her going through the illness has kind of sort of knocked her down the road in terms of dementia a little bit.
Yeah, I get.
She kind of fades in and out, like she sleeps a lot, or she'll be awake for 30 seconds and then she'll go to like nod off for a couple of minutes and then she'll wake up again for an indeterminate amount of time kind of thing. She knows where she is. She knows who I am. She's a little off on what day of the week it is or what month we're in kind of thing.
Okay.
But
yeah.
in a nursing home you don't have there isn't a big easy way of kind of telling. Like I imagine the days are all the same when she's there, right? So
all blend into one pot.
yeah, she's not eating very much, and in the short run, that's not necessarily a big issue, but in the long run, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Because
Her
she's
appetite might come back, I hope.
Yeah, the doctor told me that the antibiotics they had her on can definitely impact diet, but I think it's more like in the final stage of dementia, like swallowing becomes an issue.
Yeah, that's what probably caused the aspirational pneumonia.
Yes, yes. So, I mean, she can't hold like a fork or a spoon. She kind of holds it. I don't know, just like not the way you would hold it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So like sometimes she can pick it up, and she's good for like a spoonful. But most of the time, I have to feed her. And she has a trouble whenever she tries to swallow. She gets this terrible cough, and it sounds like she's choking, and she may very well be. She's had a cough for a long time, so the cough itself is not new, but I think it's made worse by her general condition.
Was she a smoker, John?
No, absolutely not.
Oh,
And the approach is to give them like thickened liquids.
Right. Yeah.
So
I know she doesn't like that.
like a quasi jello kind of thing, but they've already done that, and she refuses. And then the other thing is to give them kind of like pureed food, which again they've already tried, and she refuses. So it's kind of like, well, you have to eat something, and I'm going to try and feed you, knowing that at any time you could, aspirate or choke on what you're trying to swallow.
So rough. Yeah, that would be very. I don't know. It's disheartening.
Well, it kind of is. I mean, and at the same time, she'll do things like she'll say, like, today she wanted me to help her take her sweater off, so I did.
Yeah.
And then like 30 seconds later, can you help me take my sweater off? And I say, well, it's right here, and so it's right here. Oh, okay. Thank you. And then like 30 seconds later, can you help me take my sweater off? Okay. But I mean, she's not. It's not like she's doing anything like she doesn't know.
Yeah, I guess you just have to learn to live with it, and that would still be kind of tough.
Yeah. And I mean, at other times, she's sharp. Like she's never forgotten who I am. She knows who like her sisters are. She recognizes them. She remembers the names of her nurses.
Okay.
When you ask her a question, she doesn't give you a quick response. I don't know if she's thinking or if she just can't. When she tries to talk, it's very rare that she gets more than 2 or 3 words out. If she does, kind of after the first few words, what she's saying doesn't really make sense, almost like she's forgotten the right words to use. So there's a lot of kind of trying to extrapolate what she's pointing at and what she started to try and say. And so it's, I don't know, she may have had a bit of like a mini stroke, possibly.
Yeah, I get it.
So it's kind of, and of course, if I'm not here, she's got my mother who's 90 now, and her other sister who's also 90 now. So you can imagine that neither of them are quite rightly in a position to offer much assistance. So
no, I get it.
I was supposed to actually come back to Winnipeg as early as the end of next week.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, from what I've read, somebody with her sort of general situation, I mean, she could last 6 months, a year, or a month. It's really hard to know. But I mean, like she's got this ring that she bought, I don't know, back in like 1960 whatever, for $25 at Eaton's. And it's got this huge fucking rock on it. Like it's probably worth quite a bit today. But she wears that ring every day, and like we were worried, like you shouldn't have this because one of the nurses is going to steal it, right? But she remembered that she had it, and she asked for it, and we thought, if something like this can sort of hold her attention and her memory, maybe just her having it will have some positive effect. Just her having it here and being able to sort of orient on it.
Yeah, I get that.
So yeah, I'm with her every day from about noon until 6 o'clock.
Wow.
And some days like yesterday, she was in bed most of the time. Kind of peacefully sleeping for about half of it, and then sort of not so peacefully dozing for the other half. And other days she's in her wheelchair, and I can take her around down to the main floor, and we look out the windows, and there's a couple of fish tanks that we sit and watch the fish, and there's a little chapel there that we go and sit in. And when the weather gets warmer, I'll be able to take her outside for a little walk. There's a park right next door to the care home. But I mean, if I'm not there, like the nurses and the I guess orderlies, I guess they are, like they try to help her eat, but like they can only go so far, right? I mean, as soon as she refuses, like it's kind of, well, I can keep trying with you, or I've got 12 other people that I'm responsible for.
Yeah, I get it.
So it's not a good situation, but
No.
she knows that I'm there.
The best, I imagine.
I think I'm kind of doing the best I can. I've told Olya the situation, and that I have to stay longer.
Well, I don't think she has a problem with that. At least I hope not.
Yeah, she's a little disappointed because it's harder for her to get around when I'm not there, and she's got all these doctor's appointments of her own and stuff like that. But I mean,
has her sister been driving her there?
It's limited, James. I mean, she's very much a nervous driver.
No, I get it.
Like, which, I mean, I can understand. I mean, culturally over there, women just don't drive in Eastern Europe very often. So the fact that she's got a license is kind of, a bit of a shocker. So, she prefers to stay close to home, which I can understand because, normally I would be there and maybe she would drive and I'd be in the passenger seat, just kind of, giving her pointers and tips and, hey, don't forget about this and remember that and watch out for this. But I'm not able to, so she's kind of,
she didn't reach out to me to take her to the doctors or anything, or I mean, you could have if you needed me to take her.
Well, I will mention it to her. I have been calling taxis when she's asked me to, but I mean, a taxi there and back is like $80.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
I mean, under the circumstances, I'm happy to pay it. Well, not happy, but I'm willing to pay it. But it's that's kind of why back in 2010 I wanted to leave Manitoba when Convergys closed, because I knew this kind of general situation was probably going to happen. But hindsight is a great thing. So for now, I get up in the morning and like I said, Mom's 90, so it's not like she's not doing a whole heck of a lot. So, I make her breakfast, and then I have about an hour and a half or 2 hours to do whatever shopping needs to be done, and then I'm off.
Yeah. How's your old man?
Dad is actually, considering, that I thought he was kind of in the worst medical shape. He's actually seems to be doing extremely well. Unless, of course, he's just not saying anything.
Yeah.
Which is always possible with.
Just shows him to
He's got
accept
a lot
it.
on your plate, and maybe he's just not.
But as
telling
you gaze upon this scene,
Well,
you
possible.
It's
now
possible,
realize
but
something else.
when